you, it's on tour.
Yeah, usually.
It's mainly here, in your friends.
Yeah, usually here.
I don't really want to disturb you, so I don't just say hi and just so
you disturb me all you want.
So I've heard lately that people want to put the skate in the Olympics.
I mean, if you had asked me that like 15 or 20 years ago, I would probably say that's lame or whatever, but I appreciate, you know, everything that's made skateboarding grow, and everyone that truly like makes a living from skateboarding, that loves skateboarding, that's involved in the industry. Anything that helps that out, I'm all for. So if it's done in a right way and the people that are involved in it, you know, that participate in it and make it better, rather than saying like, I don't want to do that and it happening anyways in a lame way, I think that it's better to have skaters be open to it and be into it and grow the sport and grow like the industry. I think that it's a good thing. Well, that's the thing, it's like even with the Olympics, or even with like, say even when I go skateboarding in the States, like if I'm out with Nyjah and we get kicked out of a spot, a lot of the cops are like, good luck in next games, or good luck in street league. There's not that like, it used to be they were like, what are you doing? Are you breaking in here? Are you tagging? Are you like up to no good? But they see it on TV and they're familiar with it. And I think that, you know, the Olympics is such a global stage that I think it'll be good for everything. And I think that it's good for, you know, people to see it and for it to grow, you know.
And it will just allow a lot of people to watch what skateboarding really is.
Yeah, I mean the same thing with me, like when, you know, 15 years ago I told people I shot photos of skating for a living, they're just like, it blew their minds, you know. Now they're like, oh yeah, that's cool, like I saw that one photo you took, or whatever it is, you know, or do you shoot photos of, you know, Nyjah Houston or Rob Dyrdek or Danny Way, because they know those people because they're familiar, they see it on...
And I just said that you started like 15 years ago?
I started working for DC 15 years ago. Professionally, I've been taking photos for 20 years.
Oh, okay.
Almost to the day, you know.
And before you started working for DC, were you into skateboarding?
Yes. Well, I worked for Mad Circle in '94 through '97, and then I worked at Girl through the '99, and then I started working at DC in '99.
Shooting photos for Mad Circle and Girl?
Yes. Yeah.
And since you know the industry, how was it to you to like shoot photos with such good guys, such good skateboarders?
I mean, it was incredible. I've been really lucky. Even like I kind of stumbled into it because I just moved to San Francisco because that's where skateboarding was. You know, it's where Javante and Carol and Scott Johnston and like all those guys were. So that's what I saw when I looked at magazines living in the Midwest. So I moved there and I just kind of met everyone. And I'd always been interested in photography ever since I was 12, but that's not how they met me. They met me as a skateboarder, and so then when they're like, oh, you take photos, so I just started shooting, yeah, all of them, you know, I just started skating with them, and at the time I was working at the Gap, and I remember shooting an ad of Scott Johnston, and I was just like, wow, I made more in like a half hour skating with my friend and getting a slice of pizza than I did folding shirts for 2 weeks. So that's when the light bulb went off. I quit my job and I've been skating around with my friends ever since, and that was 20 years ago.
Pretty good story.
Yeah.
Talk about the Mega Ramp, because
okay.
something that's so unique. So what do you think could be next to the Mega Ramp? Because when I first saw it on the DC video,
yes,
it was something that's so amazing.
You know, honestly, that's probably a question for a guy like Danny Way. I never thought that there could be anything like the Mega Ramp, you know, because as a skater, you just see people doing what people have always kind of done, you know, and a vert ramp was like the craziest thing at the time. And then when he made the Mega Ramp, you know, for the DC video, the first time I saw it, I laughed. I was just like, oh my god, like this thing it's bigger than a house, you know. The quarter pipe was 27 feet. I mean, that's taller than a 2-story house, and you know, everything about it was just insane. So I think that I can't really honestly say how much further it can be pushed, but I think just taking that and tweaking it and doing different things with it. But exactly, you know, like it's like, you know, I never thought that anyone would skate a 21-foot Euro gap either, but he did that 2 years ago in Kauai, his property. So, you know, it's just, the mega ramp is insane. It was crazy to be a part of that and just to see it.
Yeah, I can imagine. Did you see his first run on the mega ramp?
Yeah, I never the mega ramp for the DC video. I never missed a single session.
Really?
Not one. I was there every single day, every single time he ever skated. Like, I remember arguing with him on the phone. And just, you know, being like, hey, I'm shooting this sequence of Abe, like he hasn't had to, and he's just like, fuck that. Do you want to shoot a photo on a knee-high ledge or a 70-foot gap? Like, get down here. You know, so it was crazy. I remember being so frustrated, but I never missed a single session down there because I knew, you know, I've always known ever since I started working at DC, everything that I shot of Danny would be looked back upon 10, 20 years later as being significant, but especially something that no one had ever done or seen before. I didn't want to miss a single day.
That's going to last forever in skateboarding.
Well, that, and there was no one else there to shoot it because it was a secret. We didn't want anyone to know, and that was before social media and everything else. So it was a bit easier back then, but it was still, you know, very significant, and it was crazy to like have all of that just in a binder of all my film and just, you know.
But how did you feel when you saw his first run, his first goal, his very first on the gap?
He slammed hella hard. He like,
how did you feel just watching?
I was kind of, you know, by that point I'd already been, you know, obviously a fan of him and skateboarding, through all the Plan B videos and stuff for years, and kind of shed any anxiety I had about his safety. But he still pushed it pretty far to where, like, you know, when he jumped the Great Wall or when he, you know, started skating the rail. So I was definitely, it was concerning, you know, like when the first time he slid down and he got like crazy masonite burns on his chest because he was sliding down, you know, the rolling, so.
And how can you find such good angles when you shoot photos? Because now that I still skate, but a little less, so now I film other people on the sessions.
Well, no, I mean, I know what you're saying. I just, for me, I try not to be selfish, and I try and make like a photograph that makes skateboarding itself look dope. Like, I want to make a photo that gets kids psyched, that makes them want to go skate, and then figure out how to do that photographically and make it so that it makes me happy as a photographer. So I will walk around and like snap photos of something from every different angle that I think may look good, and then kind of like step back and look at it and see where I feel looks best, and then see how it's going to be lit and where I'm going to put flashes if I'm going to use them, and so on and so forth.
Are there like different angles depending on the tricks that he's going to do? Like,
yeah, of course, you know, like crooked grind.
If it's regular or switch, the angle is going to change, but from one angle, can you get as good as, I mean, like a frontside nose grind? Or?
Well, I mean, every trick's different. Like frontside nose grind, you don't want to shoot from the front because you're not going to see the back trick. Exactly. You know, like same thing with the crooked grind. Like if you shoot that straight on, you know, his rear truck's going to align with the ledge. You know, and you just learn over years of making those mistakes. Like you learn way more from your mistakes than you do what you do right. So, you know, you just learn exactly where to shoot stuff to make it look as good as it can possibly look. Like I just shot a photo, you know, the other day where it was, you know, it's difficult. It's like Earl Warren, a downhill school, you know, and it's like a slight downhill, a gap to like a ledge, and if you shoot it wrong, it looks like a dude's just skating a ledge.
Looks like it's flat.
Yes. So you have to, you know, it was a crooked grind, as a matter of fact. You have to shoot it from behind and stand up and make the hill look good and light it a certain way, and you just learn those things over experience.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, I mean, first and foremost, you know, like I just try and make it a photograph, you know, so that it gets like it inspires someone to skate. Like that's the most important thing for me, because that's what I loved most about photography when I was a kid, looking through like Grant and Spike photos and seeing them and just seeing like the rad angles and how it made skateboarding look. Like that's what I want to make.
Yeah, it's true that watching a good photo definitely wants to makes you skate.
Yeah, exactly.
How long do you think you're going to be working for DC? And keep on shooting?
You know, I have no idea. I don't know. Maybe you can show this to my boss at DC and ask him.
So hopefully we see you for
maybe hopefully you'll see me next year, yeah. But I mean, as far as skateboarding is concerned, you know, I don't know, man, as long as I can climb over fences and not be too awkward and like not like, you know, but I still truly love it. I still love shooting stuff that makes, you know, because I know how much I appreciated skate photos as a kid, and taping them to my wall and just poring over them in magazines and like just picking apart everything about it. And I know kids still do that today. I mean, they tell me over social media and like, or, you know, even people hit me up and say, hey, I've had that photo on my wall for like 10 years or something, you know? So it's like, that's what gets me psyched to do stuff. Or even when I go to a schoolyard in LA and I see like a pro and he's like, fuck, that thing you did was sick, like that was awesome. So that's like, as a skateboarder, not even as a photographer or someone who works in the industry, that's what like gets me psyched, that I can do stuff like that that makes people like inspired and like want to go skateboarding.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And I've been like skating for 30 years, right? And I've had like many idols that I've always met, always ended up meeting them. And I never was into having them to sign. I asked you to sign me something.
Well, thanks. I'm the same. Dude, you know what? I'm the same way. I think it has a lot to do with I've been with DC for so long and I've been with the same group of people, but I admire and appreciate so many people that I don't get a chance to meet. But now that I'm, you know, a little bit older, I try and like, you know, reach out to people and like, but I still fan out on, I mean, for myself.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
It was just a little bit longer, but I just feel like talking.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.